waited on hand and foot by other people, whereas this divine feminine is used to going after what it is she wants. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Twintuitive717. I am back with another video. I hope you guys are doing incredibly well as always. So I have a few sensual decks here that I want to use for this reading. Alright, so we have our Eight of Wands here coming through, and what I'm picking up just on the image on the card here is that there's no one else that matches the vibration that you feel. Like, it's like on point, on target. A lot of you feel like you're most passionate. You feel like you can build the most. Like, when you're in the Eight of Wands energy, it's like you are just right in the depths of getting yourself off the ground. A lot of you are blossoming. You're having a lot of abundance coming through. Many of you are working very hard. You're seeing the fruits of your labor. Many of you are manifesting or have been manifesting for a really long time, and only are you just starting to see these manifestations come into your reality. Okay, and that's how many of your masculines are seeing you as well, Divine Feminine, because I do believe that in the beginning of your journey, Feminine, many masculines saw you as just not part of their world. Maybe you guys were different cultures or a different status. Okay, so what I'm getting is that, and a lot of you are going to feel me when I talk about this stuff, and I don't mean to offend anybody, and I know I won't be offending anybody because I was there myself, because a lot of you guys know I'm Trini. I was born and raised in Trinidad, and when I came to Canada, it was like a whole different world of interacting with North American culture, or just, you know, people of different ethnicities. And even when I was in high school and things like that, you know, there were the cool kids, and like, don't get me wrong, I was part of the cool kids in high school, okay, but there was like a different race of cool kids. You know, there were the group of cool kids who were of this race, there were the group of cool kids who were of this race. I hear the crow going off in the background, like, yeah, you was part of the crew. But what I'm feeling is like, you know, a lot of the divine feminines, like, you guys may not fit into your divine masculines world. And like, as cliche as it sounds to think of like the Cinderella story, where it's like you just don't fit into like the elite, you know, people or their lifestyle or their settings, or maybe they just kind of think, or they're programmed to believe that they're that way. Because of like material possessions or whatever. Like, people who are very like 3D, they'll equate material possession to wealth, whereas I feel like there's a lot of us who equate wealth to like wisdom and street smarts and things like that. So like, it's all an even playing field. It just depends on what type of lifestyle you're born into in this earthly realm, and what messages and lessons you're meant to learn along the way. But aside from all of that blabbering, what I was trying to get at was that this is a divine feminine who, you know, like in plain sight, you might not be your divine masculine's type. You might not fit into his world of like, you know, the elegance, but you have spirit and you have heart, and you know how to stand up for yourself, and you know how to work hard. And for some reason, your divine masculine is very attracted to those qualities. He's very attracted to your outside of the box thinking. You know, what I see is like a bunch of people who think that money means everything. Like, if you have money, then that automatically trumps anything. Like, if you have status and power and you have a good job, and like, oh, you went to this university and like you have this degree, it all of a sudden means that you're better than everyone. Like, I feel like many of the divine masculines are surrounded by people who adapt that way of thinking, whereas the divine feminine's world, it involves a lot of giving and kindness and humility and meeting people where they are, and giving your time and your energy. And like, what I see is like many of the divine feminines are very grounded to the point where if you guys do become successful, your focus would not be on which vacation to take next. It would be more of like, okay, who needs help? Like, where do I take all of this abundance, and how can I help other people who are in less desirable circumstances? Or how do I help populations of people who are more vulnerable? So there's this huge emphasis on like this warrior energy and this divine feminine, and those are the qualities that your divine masculine is attracted to. And I think that even in his own settings, if he were to recognize himself as being all like prim and proper, he would rather not be prim and proper and really like, sorry guys, I think that's my phone going off. Okay, sorry about that, guys. But yeah, like I feel like many of your masculines would, like, there we go, the 10 of Pentacles here, okay? So they have a lot of money, they're used to being taken care of. You know, they might be used to like karmics as well, or attracted to other women in the past where it's like that's the energy where they're used to being waited on hand and foot by other people, whereas this divine feminine is used to going after what it is she wants. And she's used to building empires based off of her own hard work rather than having things handed to her. Not that having things handed to you is a bad thing. Like, the thing is like you might have had wealth passed down, and your focus is like, how do I use this wealth to like grow, and how do I use it to help other people and benefit and be of assistance? Whereas like karmic energy is more of like, how do I exploit? Do you know what I mean? I hope you guys understand what I'm saying, but I just feel like the divine feminine in this situation would be like, please do not wash me in this way. I can wash myself. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so we also have the 10 of Swords, 2 10 energies here coming up, okay? So I feel like this represents the divine feminine energy having to go through a lot of turmoil, a lot of pain, a lot of death in her experience with her twin flame journey. And this mainly is why many of your masculines have been programmed to find you different from them, because it's like you don't come across a woman who's out there with her work boots on ready to take on the work. They were used to very like pampered divine feminines, but what they saw was like, God damn, these women treat you like shit, and it's because they feel like shit themselves. And the reason I'm saying that is because, yeah, it might seem extravagant to have people wait on you hand and foot, but it's like to know that you can't even wash yourself, it might be a bit of an eye-opener at times, okay? And it might make you feel very ugly on the inside that you're not able to carry on with life without feeling this very codependent energy on other people. Like, a lot of people get into relationships or have these like one-night stands or flings or hold on to people that they know who want to be somewhere else because they're so terribly afraid of being alone with their own thoughts, period. But this divine feminine is not like that. Like, she's definitely had to pull out a lot of her swords and face a lot of embarrassment and shame on her own journey. But I feel like many of you defended yourselves really well. Like, even if other people tried to shame you or embarrass you, a lot of you weren't having it. You know, many of you divine feminines are the type to make mistakes and see your mistakes as an opportunity to grow and learn. And you guys are like, bring it on. Like, I want to make mistakes in life. Mistakes is what fuels me. That's what drives me. Because if I make a mistake, I know how I can improve. And that's what you guys thrive off of, is hard work, is what I'm getting with this 10 of Swords energy. And many of you have completed a lot of cycles with continuing to be in this energy, okay? Like, even though there's death, there's butterflies in this image as well. Okay, because it speaks volumes about the transformation that many of the divine feminines are consistently going through. Like, many of you think, oh yeah, like once I'm able to complete this cycle, there will be union. No, like, union is acceptance of your twin flame journey. That's what union is. When you accept that you're on a twin flame journey without continuing to push and pull and run and hide, that's union. All right. And we have our 9 of Pentacles coming up here as well. The 9 of Pentacles is like the difference between the divine feminine and this karmic partner. Like, this karmic partner is like completion. You already have everything handed to you. But the 9 is just like one more off of that completion. But that symbolizes that this divine feminine knows that she is always on this journey of growth. There is no ending. It's like I shared in the Oris Boris symbolism yesterday. in that reading with the snake eating its own tail, many divine feminines realize that this whole life experience has to do with our souls. Whether our bodies are intact or not, our souls go through a lot of rebirths and deaths while we are still here on this earth. Okay, and many of you are learning to pay attention to that, to see that, and to not get caught up in a lot of the drama, and to just continue to focus on yourselves. In fact, I just did a personal reading where I talked about feeling like this loner in life. Many divine feminines feel that. A lot of you guys, yes, you are doing your own thing as far as growing your businesses, learning to be in solitude, but what you're starting to see is, man, I am a loner. I literally do not have a big circle, or even if your circle is existent at all. Many of you have like these invisible soul tribes, whether it be through communities online, or you guys are really shifting what it means to enjoy your solitude, but at the same time have connections with other people with healthy boundaries. Okay, and we've got the 7 of Wands as well coming up, and I think that speaks of confidence. Many divine feminines have been confident in this journey, no matter what it has brought to the table. A lot of you have been you've been really brave. Like you've been, like, what I mean by brave is like you guys have not been afraid to be embarrassed. You guys have not been afraid to admit a lot of the things that this journey has put you through and how much you've grown from it, you know, and many masculines are admiring this. I feel like these are the divine feminines who, you know, that this love exists, and no matter what goes on in the divine masculine's life in terms of drama, them connecting with past karmic partners, continuing to go back to these karmic situations from relationships, you guys are continuing to row the boat and move along on this journey. No matter what life lessons are being brought to you, like heartbreak, abandonment, you're choosing your independence and your solitude, and you're counting on yourself. And I think that that's what many of these karmic partners are afraid of in these dynamics with us twin flames, is that they are so afraid of being alone with themselves. And instead of asking why that is, they continue to latch on. And the Tower card ends off this spread here with this erotic fantasy tarot, because a lot of you are feeling the Towers. A lot of you are feeling the Judgment. Many of you are having to rebuild yourselves and walk away and ask yourselves, you know, what you've been doing all of this time, and where you have been giving into unhealthy behaviors just because it's a twin flame journey. You know, a lot of you are kind of waking up out of, like, I hear a lot of people refer to it as wearing rose-colored glasses, but it, you know, it's the same as like being under a spell. Many of you are waking up and starting to see that it's like, yeah, I connected with this person spiritually and euphorically, and it felt like a dream, but it's like now you guys are waking up and dusting the cobwebs off of you because you've been asleep for so long, and you're starting to approach many of the life lessons that you've learned along the way from a more logical perspective. Okay, so a lot of you have distanced yourselves. A lot of you have decided to kind of step away from the twin flame journey a little bit and focus more on being happy alone, enjoying solitude. Okay, but that doesn't mean that your divine counterpart is not thinking about you heavily romantically. And I feel like what it's been in my experience, hang on guys, let me grab these. So we have the Magician and the 7 of Swords, and that's perfect to end off this reading. That's really all I need here to get my point across. But when you guys create distance with each other and walk away, but she's, even though they have their backs turned, she's still looking towards the passion, the tulips, the growth of this connection. And that's normally how the divine feminine usually sees it, while many of the masculines, it takes them time with the sword here. Because they have to get through like the logical thoughts, the regret, the betrayal, a lot of that stuff, in order to see the optimism of this connection and, like, you know, growing together and becoming stronger together. Even if it's like you guys aren't dating in the physical, becoming stronger, meaning like, you know what, I don't know why you're here in my life and why you bug the shit out of me so much, even when we're not speaking, but I can appreciate the thoughts that come up in my head around you and what it's teaching me in my daily life. And many masculines are trying to say to you, divine feminines, I may not say it enough, but thank you for being here with me. And many of the divine feminines feel the same. A lot of you guys express that through prayer and meditation as well. That's why you guys tune into these twin flame readings. You know, a lot of you still have hope, and a lot of you still think about your divine masculines very positively. And I feel like any divine masculine listening to this reading needs to hear that. No matter what your feminine is going through, no matter what you're going through, they still think about you in the way that you do them. That's why you guys feel each other so much, right? The Magician card is wanting to end off this reading, especially in the Tarot of Sexual Magic, because the actual key word in this card is courtship. And I've spoken a lot about that in past community posts and readings, is that many of your masculines, they do want to court you, divine feminine. This whole magician image here is getting prepared because he's got all of the elements of the tarot on the table here. And this tells me that this is a divine masculine who has been through enough cycles this year to recognize that they are in fact on a twin flame journey. And no matter how silly it sounds, no matter how stupid, ridiculous it sounds, no matter how many times the karmic partners or karmic involvements, such as close family members, try to convince them that this stuff isn't real and get themselves together, get their head together, many of your masculines are connecting with the truth of, you know what, getting my head together means honoring how it is I feel on the inside. And at the end of the day, I can't deny this connection with this person. And I've talked a lot about masculines putting their foot down. They're having to have really tough conversations with people close to them, like mothers and aunts, grandmothers, sisters. I don't know, like any kind of female energy in their life who kind of feel entitled to place emphasis on the divine masculine's decisions in his life. He's really having to put his foot down. And this is a new energy for them going into 2022, because I'm telling you guys, they might appear very masculine to you, but in front of people who they have experienced this lifetime with, so people they've been raised with, and there's a lot of heavy influence there that you guys may not be aware of. Okay, but that's why I'm saying many feminines are distancing themselves, because this is the divine masculine's lesson to learn. The masculines are still going to feel the divine feminines, and they're starting to feel it tenfold because many of you are distancing yourself. So it's like, how can he be feeling you 10 times more, even though you've decided to walk away or focus on yourself or do something else other than focus on the expectations of how this twin flame journey is going to end? Now your masculines are feeling you even more than ever. So that's giving them the power of the magician here to actually start taking some positive action. And the reason the magician energy comes up is because, you know, people can often refer to the magician as like a trickster, but sometimes you need to create illusions for people who are out to delay your journey or to create deception or to create illusions. And that's why my community post was talking about return shit back to sender, and don't be naive on this journey and think that you need to be this love and light and this martyr. And martyr was the word I used because that's like, for me, like a lot of Pisces people are like that. And I don't know if you guys know, but it's like they just feel this obligation to consistently be there for people and take care of people and find like this like victory in being a martyr. But a lot of the times, like, they will also allow people to steamroll over their energy time and time again. And you know, whether you guys want to believe it or not, again, this whole universe is a vast place. And if you guys think that everybody is of love and light, you know, you're going to have a really hard time protecting your boundaries and protecting your energy and sticking to your boundaries and walls that you've put up in place. This whole love and light makes you lower those walls and think, oh, everybody is here to, you know, be of good intentions, and you allow yourself to get steamrolled. And pay attention to this, because how it'll show up is that you guys experience the same type of lessons again with like certain friends that you might give like second and third and fourth and fifth chances to. Even with like your divine masculine, if they're still interacting with karmic situations and stuff, and you're like, oh no, wait, I need to surrender and send love to the karmic and send love to the masculine. Like, you guys are going to keep getting steamrolled in that situation, because what you're not seeing or realizing is that not everybody has migrated, is the word I'm getting, to this earth realm to be of love and light. Like, when they go back to their systems, their agenda is completely different, you know? So that's why I'm saying earth is of polarity. A lot of you guys might want to believe that everything is all all gravy, baby, but what I am learning on this journey is to spend time investing in myself and spend time praying for protection. And my dreams have showed me this really early on in the twin flame awakening aspect. But I have to admit myself, I was pretty naive, but now that I have grown and I am wiser and I am able to take in a lot more of my surroundings, I can definitely tell you guys, like, that's been a strong message for me, to be aware of your surroundings at all times and trust your vibes. All right. And you don't need to be the martyr. Okay. You don't need to sit here with the agenda of like, oh my God, like I need to forgive and love and light and namaste and like, oh, no, like many times a lot of people are doing you guys wrong, and what you need to do is stand up and say, get the fuck out of my face right now, because I see you for who you are. Many of you are afraid to do that because just the thought of telling somebody to fuck off is like so scary to you, and that's because you've been programmed and conditioned by other people to sit there and shut your mouth. No more of that. The magician is here, and the magician is prepared. All right? He's not holding up the chalice, is he? He's holding up that sword. All right? I love you guys. Take care, and I hope you found this one insightful. All right? Bye, guys.